Greetings everybody. The present video is brought to you by Mr. Unknown, and this is the thing he needs to say. I'm a moderately aged Korean guy living in the US, and your recordings have cemented my perceptions about ladies. You're saving a ton of lives with your work. Today I needed to share that Korean ladies are the absolute most slippery, cerebral, and controlling ladies in the whole world. I was a mega manjina my whole life, and back in secondary school, I dated a young lady who was around 2 levels ahead of me. As a self-broadcasted flower child, she was delightful, gifted, and exceptionally enchanting. I was so whipped at every turn that on the night we began dating, I got back home after the first date and recorded a selfie video about how I'm in paradise and how I can't completely accept that I have a heavenly messenger. I showed her the video the next day. I can envision the fulfillment and salivation that she felt realizing that my heart was on a platter to her to gobble up. For the following 2 years, she transparently was a tease and stroked different folks directly before me, said a final farewell to me since her affections for her ex had returned over winter break, and conceded to coincidentally hooking up with one more buddy at a party. Indeed, even after this, it was she who needed to part ways with me since I was excessively whipped. Composing this pushes down me, and I'm embarrassed about how effectively I got stomped all over by ladies, yet subsequent to watching her recordings, I felt a sense of urgency to impart this to you along with the Migdo community to act as a wake-up call of exactly the way that strong and blinding the wet vent is. Obviously, each of my exes wound up undermining me, however this intriguing. I've dated an Indian, a couple of Caucasians, as well as a couple of Korean young ladies, and the Korean young ladies are the ones in particular that never really conceded that they cheated. My latest relationship was with a Korean young lady, and I believe that I'd really established in a wall. She was adorable, held practical, silly, apparently non-materialistic, and took care of my self-image with praises, like "you're so masculine," and disliked the wide range of various folks. In any case, after about an extended period of dating her, she started to uncover her real nature each layer in turn. She did things like never catching the telephone and getting back to me a couple of moments later, getting squandered at required organization works that endured until late at night, 3 times each week, and coy Facebook messages from her male colleagues on her page began to spring up. Be that as it may, similar to a moth encompassed by cobwebs, I actually couldn't see reality. The main way I awakened from this manjana trance state was subsequent to determining from a companion that she was engaging in extramarital relations with her colleagues, as well as a couple of companions of mine from school. By day's end, I fault myself for the hallucination in my mind. Without a doubt, she was underhanded and manipulative. Yet it was the same amount of how I didn't believe my dreams should end since we were defective, and I suspect that even the most insightful MGTOWs have vulnerable sides and can succumb to the quietest female hunters who concentrate on their prey for a long time and sting them into accommodation when they find that specific vulnerable side. The wet vent is strong to an extent that the buddy would in any case think he has command over it to him. That is likely why young ladies keep around men that like men or companion zone manjanas around to extricate knowledge about the male mind. I figure folks ought to do exactly the same thing by keeping a terrible young lady around to essentially smell out female slash. She would need to be truly unattractive for everything to fall into place. At any rate, my inquiry for you today is this. What are the absolute riskiest warnings that you've seen while collaborating with ladies? I figure it would be valuable for anybody in the Migdo development that actually dates to really peruse this rundown before they head out on their dates. Well, Mr. Mysterious, gratitude for breaking men's picture out there about Asian ladies. The way that your ex didn't confess to swindling shows me once more that Asian ladies are more astute and greater at covering their tracks than Caucasian or ladies. However, concerning warnings, the first is clearly the insane banner. There's a justification for why there's a Reddit bunch called "Don't Put Yord in Insane." In the event that a lady begins acting insane after you begin dating her, don't engage in bedroom relations with her. Assuming that it's the last thing you do, it will simply wreck you genuinely on the grounds that you can't actually become hopelessly enamored with somebody that deals with you like a lethargic. That carries me to the subsequent banner. About a little while into dating or a relationship, the lady will normally begin to deal with you like garbage since she realizes that you love her. How unexpected is that? She must be good to you until you go gaga for her, however, when she understands that you're snared like an award bass. She then, at that point, resorts to mistreating you. In some cases, it takes more time than a couple of months. I recall on our 1-year commemoration, I was told every one of the awful things that I was doing and that I expected to change about myself. You realize the entire seek some therapy, get me a superior gifts, and carry a wine to my mom's home on Friday. For another sweetheart, it nearly took her over 2 years before she began guiding me on the grounds that I just had 2 significant connections in 15 years as a grown-up. I didn't believe that this sort of conduct was lady explicit. I thought it was well-defined for the singular lady that I was dating. From that point forward, I've dated 4 ladies and I see similar example of warnings. Another warning that I've seen is that ladies in their 30s are frequently so frantic to get pregnant, and they're willing to engage in intimate relations as quickly as time permits to get thumped up with the guy. They're searching for good qualities as they enter the 8th inning in their regenerative years. They don't have any desire to utilize security. All they'd appear to think often about is getting pregnant. They couldn't care less about STDs, protection is the pill. That to me is a warning that you're simply a seed donor and you want to fundamentally get the damnation out of there as fast as could be expected. Another enormous warning is a lady in her late 20s or 30s with dead or scarcely any cash saved. On the off chance that she doesn't have a monetary arrangement, then you're the monetary bailout plan for her. Assuming that implies wedding you or essentially getting pregnant to get kid backing and divorce settlement, then so be it. They're frantic. Recollect to such an extent that monetarily pained ladies in their late 20s and 30s know their main opportunity to have a decent way of life later on and enjoying a luxurious lifestyle is to track down a man to give it to them. On the off chance that they haven't become effective all alone by their right on time to mid-30s, then they need an individual for cash. Assuming that they have horrendous confidence, that also is a warning since in such a case that their regard at any point expands. They could really figure they can show improvement over you, and you'll be history to them. The ladies that go unnoticed without really trying generally sport dark and have exceptionally high intelligence levels. I believe it's truly shrewd that ladies attempt and cause minimal measure of to notice themselves by raising the warnings. I couldn't want anything more than to hear what every other person suspects as much. Kindly don't be timid and offer in the remarks segment underneath. Gratitude for taking your day-to-day portion of red pills and recollect a red pill daily fends the separation legal counselors off. Partake in the remainder of your day and good health.